Okay, so let's talk about reinvestment rates and the impact on our returns. So in investment A here, we have a reinvestment rate of 10%. So the cash flow times zero. The first cash flow payment is $100. That's your 10% return. And then we go up to the second period, which is the $1,000 bond plus the $100 interest payment. Well, this $100 that we got back, we have to reinvest. And if we're reinvesting it at 10%, we get $110 at time two, and that's a total of $1,100 for the second payment and $110 for the first payment, which is $1,210 for the future value of this investment. If the reinvestment rate is 8%, but the bond is still paying the 10%, we have the $100 here, but the $100 only gives us the 8% return on the coupon that was paid. Then we get our $1,000 back and our $100 coupon, last $100 coupon payment. So we have the $1,100 and the $108, the 100 we got from the coupon and the $8 interest from time one to time two. We end up with $1,208. So this reinvestment rate risk, the difference between what the coupon is paying and what the new interest rate is a real impact on your overall return in your investments. So as bond prices, if you invested at 10% and you're getting coupons back, but the new interest rate is 8%, you're not going to return 10% on your money. You're going to return less than that. If we look at this over time, the bond price, this is a 30-year bond at a 6.5% coupon. So the 6.5% would be the price at 100. So that's here. And so we have two coupons here, and they're going to converge. And the reason they're going to converge is at the end of this 30-year maturity, it's going to send you $1,000 in that last payment. Well, if we know that the $100 at 6.5%, then the coupon at 12%, what has happened? Interest rates have gone from the 12% down to 6.5%. And if interest rates have gone down, the price has gone up. So eventually it comes back down to 6.5%, or the value comes back down to 6.5%. And the same thing's true with the coupon. Is if the coupon was 4% and it's up to and has gone up to 6.5%, then the price will rise to the par level or 100%. So you can see that the value as it approaches the 30-year mark starts to converge, and the distance between the two coupons versus the market price becomes smaller and smaller. So the longer time frame, the more the difference in interest rates between the coupon and the yield to maturity will have as an impact. We can also look at yield to maturity versus holding period return in this way. The yield to maturity is the average return of the bond held to maturity. So this is the return that you would expect if you hold on to the bond to the end. So if you buy a bond that has a yield to maturity of 6.5%, that would be the average return you would expect throughout the whole of the life of the bond. It also, that rate depends on the coupon, the maturity, and the par value. All of these are readily observable and calculatable. Excuse me. HPR, holding period return, is the rate of return over a particular investment period. Now, a particular investment period is not necessarily set in stone. So it's not the day you buy it and the day that it matures. It's the day you buy it and it's the day that you want to sell it or you want to get rid of it in the holding period. So you don't have to hold it all the way to maturity. So this is the rate of return over the investment period for you as an individual investor. And of course, that depends on the bond's price at the end of the holding period. That's not known. The price at maturity is going to be at coupon at par. It's going to give you your $1,000 back. We know that. But what if you sell it before then? Well, then you have a holding period return, and we do not know what the holding period will be. Although it can be forecasted, it is not a future. It's not a known. It is an unknown future value because we don't know what the holding period actually is. And if we look at the zero coupon, this is the price of a zero coupon bond over time. We know that zero coupons don't pay interest. You have a discounted value. You lend them less than the par value. So in this case, over 30 years, you've lent them quite a bit less. You can see here that you're less than $100 is the price of this bond. So you've lent the usually federal government zero coupon bond a small amount of money, and in 30 years you're going to get $1,000 back. That interest is going to compound all the way up to $1,000, and so you'll see that the increase of the price of the bond over time is increasing, but there are no coupon payments in a zero coupon bond. So this will give us a quick overview of yield to maturity, holding period returns, and a little bit of overview of zero coupon bonds. Let's talk a little bit about default risk next.